instructor. No, wow.
TV 52 Sports presents the SIAC in high school baseball. Tonight, the Reitz Panthers take on the Bosse Bulldogs. High school baseball brought to you by M&M Auto, Citizens National Bank, The Book Broker, Muth Power Equipment, Mattingly's 23 Restaurant, celebrations, and rallies. Up next, high school baseball. Again, everybody, and welcome to SIAC High School Baseball on our Friday night together. Two teams, Doug, we've seen, the past couple of weeks here, the Reitz Panthers and the Bosse Bulldogs.
And getting this late in the season, you're going to see a lot of rematches. Reitz was victorious in this first game, 12-1. But right now, both teams sort of on a roll. Bosse's put 2 wins together. Reitz the big win the other night. So they're gelling at the right time, gearing up for sectional play.
I would venture to say probably these two teams playing out the best ball of the season. Andy Elkins, a big job for Bosse, and of course Scott Hart, who we'll see on the mound today for Reitz. Both
have come through in the offense. Andy with the big pitching performance, also hit a home run the other night against South Spencer down here at Bosse Field. So they're putting together quality defense and the offense when they need to. It'll be Hart and Joe Dickinson on the mound today.
We took a look at Reitz offensively and defensively just a couple of nights ago. We were talking a lot about their defense, but offensively, look out as well. 7 runs the other night.
They are putting it together when they need to. We've said that before, but the defense is the main thing in this IHSAA play down here. You're going to get a lot of good defense, especially out of the ball clubs this afternoon. They struggled early in the season, committing a lot of errors, not really putting the wins together as both coaches expected early in the season, but they've kind of gelled, put everything together, and it's getting near down to the season, so they got to start planning for sectional play.
The Panthers, Scott Hart told us the other day that they are the team to beat after Harrison in this upcoming sectional.
Well, we've talked about it a little bit in our previous games. You can't really pick one team. Harrison probably is going to be the season favorite as far as coming in just because of the staff and their hitting, but you can't forget about Central. Reitz, if they get together. North has a good pitching staff, also this Bosse club. So right now, the sectional is pretty much wide open.
As mentioned, both teams on a roll. Bosse at 4-10. They've won their last couple. One game over 500 of the Panthers. They are 11-10. Coming up next, SIAC High School Baseball on a Friday night. Next on TV 52. Doug, it's Bosse and Reitz, and they've been playing some darn good baseball the past couple of weeks.
Both teams are on a roll, getting together when they need to towards the end of the season. Both struggled a little bit early in the season. The win-loss percentage not quite as good as both coaches expected coming into this 91 campaign. Bosse has won 2 in a row. Reitz, we saw them the other day pick up a big win over North, so both are on a roll. On the mound this afternoon for Bosse, Joe Dickinson. His record is at 1-3, an ERA of 7.30. He's pitched in 23 innings of work, 34 hits, 27 runs, 24 of those earned. Has picked up 11 strikeouts and issued 6 walks.
And 2 catchers today, both TV 52 all SIAC candidates, and Tracy Young behind the plate for Bosse and Kevin Bullock for the Reitz Panthers.
Both do a good job behind the plate, act as the defensive leader out there. They are basically in charge, the coach on the field, if you will, as far as aligning the defense, getting the secondary positions to move whenever you've got a left-handed or right-handed hitter up. Both do an exceptional job, and both have good, strong arms.
Kevin Bullock will lead things off for the Panthers of Reitz. Again, they are 11-10 under Steve Johnston. Scott Hart will bat second. Todd Hayes in the 3-hole, and Charles Gilmore bats cleanup. Bill Hammonds, Louis Meredith, Craig Angle, Corey Lamb, and Dennis Maynard round out this evening's Panther 9. So again, it's Bosse and Reitz on our Friday evening together here on TV 52. 11-10 the Panthers, 4-10 the Bosse Bulldogs. And the pitching of Joe Dickinson to get things started off on this evening on the inside corner. We're underway.
And our umpires for tonight's game behind the plate, John Hodge, Rob Engelbrecht on the bases. Bullock comes in at 359, 20 for 59 overall. He's picked up 4 doubles, 3 triples, a home run, and 15 RBIs.
It's Dickinson and Young to complete the battery. Andy Elkins this afternoon is at first base. David McCutcheon down at second. Jamie Keebler, the shortstop, and Chuck Schum at third base. Outfield, Matt Wendell. He will be DH'd for. George Sanders, the center fielder, and Ronnie Rifford.
And right now, Dickinson struggling a little bit on the mound. His locations worked the count to 3-0. It's usually going to take an inning or so for these pitchers to really get into the swing of things. Coming into a ball game, not getting a lot of work. We talked about Dickinson only pitching in 23 innings. Really behind Elkins is the second arm on this team as far as pitching is concerned.
Good comeback pitch to bring 3-2. That's true about a lot of the pitchers here in the SIAC. except for two, taking time to warm up. Wiggins and I think Fetcher come out on fire right from the start.
Both have had pretty good years for Memorial and Reitz respectively, and there we see a pop foul out of play. Every ball club here in the city seems like they have that one good quality pitcher, and that's going to be tough when it comes to sectional. You're going to have your horse going for probably the first game, depending on what the draw is going to institute. We've talked about the competition here in the city. Everybody is playing pretty good, especially come around sectional time.
Big strikeout after falling behind 3-0. Kevin Bullock down, and another pitcher, Scott Hart. He was the DH 2 for 3 earlier this week.
Was one of the stars of the game in that big win against Reitz when they were ahead, fell behind, and came back in the 6th inning to take that victory. On the season, Scott at 281, 9 for 32. He's picked up 2 doubles and a triple, and also picked up an RBI.
One of 4 seniors to lead it off here for the Reitz Panthers. That's going to be tough for Johnston to fill. The 4 top batters are the ones he's been using most of the season here in the batting order. Are gone to graduation.
And Joe is falling into the same dilemma that he had the first batter. He worked the count 3-0, then came back with some quality pitches, went 3-2. Good foul-off job by Bullock protecting the plate. Finally got him on a strike 3 call, swinging. So right here, he's worked it to 3-0. Look for him to come back in with another fastball.
Hart may be swinging away after watching the last. He takes it for strike 1. So again, it's going the same way it went for Bullock.
And for Joe to last these 7 innings, he's going to have to work with that control, get a couple strikes over early, because if he goes to 3 balls on a lot of batters, the fatigue factor will set in, and his arm will get a little bit tired and start getting a lot of balls up and out of the strike zone.
Again, it's 3-2, trying to go the same pace as Bullock, and again, your 3-2 pitch is down low. Lost that one.
Let's bring up the left fielder, Todd Hayes, 242 on the season, 16 for 66. We saw him the other day get hit by a pitch. Went onto his elbow area some type. He was eventually taken out of the ball game, so it's good to see him back in the starting lineup. I'm sure he was sore for a day or so, but right now getting back into the offensive gear as far as Reitz is concerned, and if you're going to score some runs, you want to get them as early as you can.
Jacket being given to Scott Hart, and that just to keep that pitching arm warm.
Most high schools, as far as a state federation is concerned, have the choice of using a courtesy runner, which is somewhat of a speed-up rule. The state of Indiana has not adopted that speed-up rule as such. Where that works is whenever anytime your pitcher or catcher get on base, you automatically call time, send in a pinch runner so you can get them back onto the bench and kind of make the game go a little bit quicker.
There are a lot of different rules throughout the, different states. For example, in Massachusetts, they use a shot clock in basketball for high school, and where basketball is king, here in Indiana, we do not.
Well, they have the National Federation, which is out of Mission, Kansas, or out in the Kansas City area out there. They basically rule as the governing body for high school play.
It is a single to left field, and Matt Wendell. So the first to come aboard via hit. It's first and second here for the Reitz Panthers, and just underway here in the top half of the first inning.
And if you're a Panther fan, this looks good. They have struggled early in the season, not scoring a lot of runs. We saw the game against North where they put together some runs late in that 6th inning and came back and won that ball game. This is the first baseman, Charles Gilmore, leads this Reitz Panther team in batting average at .380. Overall 19 for 50, 6 doubles, and also 16 RBIs.
And that's why he stands where he does here in the cleanup. Hammond's on deck. And Reitz looking to attack early here after Bullock goes down on the K. A walk to Hart, a base hit moments ago by Hayes. And Dickinson cannot keep up at this early pace. Too many balls here on the outset. And your 2-0 down the middle, good.
And this early in the ball game, we see the defense of Bosse, the infield, pulled in to where they're going to try to cut off that run at home plate on any ground ball. You're going to field it, look the runner back to third. If he takes off, make your throw to home. But if not, he's going to more times than not go back to third. Then you make your play to first base.
Dickinson trying to save himself here. With one in scoring position, Hart down there at second. We've seen a lot of runs early, Doug, in a lot of our high school games, and then it tapers off.
And that's just a matter of having your certain type of pitchers on the mound. We talked about the aces. Most of these city teams have at least one. The exception of Memorial really has 2 with Wiggins and Elpers. But if you have your good pitcher on the mound, it's going to limit your offense sometimes when you get that second, third, sometimes even your fourth man in rotation to get in. Basically, his job is to come in and just get some innings. He's not really the ace of the staff, so you're not looking for a shutout or big numbers as far as strikeouts concerned. His main job is to come in, throw strikes, let the offense hit the ball. You've got your defensive guys behind you. Use them.
Got him on the inside. 4 batters. The third time it went 3-2, and it's a second strikeout here for Dickinson.
And has come back rather well after getting the first strikeout, issued a walk and then a base hit. Fell behind again once on the count, but came back with some good pitches and got him looking right there.
I like this guy in Bill Hammonds.
Hammonds at 350. He is second on the team in batting averages. 14 for 40. Overall, 3 doubles, a triple, and 9 RBIs.
Not bad in right field. As far as hitting and defense combined, maybe only one right fielder in the league better than him in Jeff Effinger. And they are close.
Defense on this high school level, as far as the city of Evansville is concerned, really stocked this year as far as good defensive players. You're going to have your offensive players like your Hank Wheelers that are going to have the 400-plus averages, a lot of home runs, a lot of RBIs, good pitching, but you really cannot forget about the defense. That is part of the game that a lot of people just forget about.
Keebler goes to Andy Elkins in Dickinson. There was a thought of worry there for a moment, gets out of it, and we played 1/2 inning. Again, we're back at Bosse Field, and we're coming back before high school baseball, the 1991 SIAC on TV 52. One of many hitting stars in the game we saw earlier this week involving Reitz in North. Today he's on the hill, Scott Hart.
Comes in with a record of 2-2 and overall ERA 4.26. Has worked in 23 innings, allowed 19 hits, 16 runs, 14 of those earned, 25 strikeouts, and 14 walks.
Scott Hart and Kevin Bullock. That's your battery for Reitz. Charles Gilmore at first, Corey Lamb, the second baseman, Louis Meredith at short, Dennis Maynard at third, Todd Hayes, Craig Angle, Bill Hammonds, left center and right field. George Sanders lead things off for the Bosse Bulldogs. Welcome to the bottom half of the first inning.
George, the center fielder for Bosse, comes in at 214. Pretty good on-base person as far as having a good eye up there at the plate. Not a lot of hits as far as getting a high batting average, but has picked up a lot of walks. Is tied for the team lead with 11 walks. Also a lot of speed, so look for him to try to get on base as much as he can.
Nice hit ball. Todd Hayes in left field. More height than distance, and there's one away. David McCutcheon here batting second. Then it's Andy Elkins out of the 3-hole, and Dickinson, he is power and cleanup. Jamie Keebler, Tracy Young, Chuck Shum, Ronnie Rifford, and Marcel Cooksey from Matt Wendell bats ninth.
And McCutcheon leads this Bosse Bulldog team in batting average, comes in at 318, has picked up 14 hits and 44 plate appearances, has a triple, 4 RBIs, and scored 9 runs.
So the first in F7. Second baseman McCutcheon. Slow roll of these are the kinds that kill you. Kevin Bullock.
Just like it was supposed to be, just like he worked it out on paper. That ball hit in the dirt part of the home plate area, and with the rain we got here last night, it's going to be a little bit damp out there. They covered the field with the tarp last night after the Aces game, so the infield a little bit drier than the outfield area, but he just got out there, knew it was going to be a fair ball all the way, so he went to right where the ball was, picked it up, and made a good, strong throw.
On June the 15th, Andy Elkins will represent Evansville for the Indiana-Kentucky All-Star game at Market Square Arena. Unfinished business here in what is called the stretch half of the SIAC baseball season. And
Andy has struggled a little bit this year with the transition from the basketball to the baseball, not really able to concentrate solely on baseball as he has in the past due to the All-Star games and the local tri-state tournament here that he played in with the rest of the seniors this year from the high school.
Shows what he can do with the bat. It's a 2-out single for Andy. In trouble for any defense is Joe Dickinson.
Dickinson at 234. Both he and Andy Elkins have hit a home run apiece. 11 hits and 47 plate appearances, also has a double, and is leading the team in RBIs with 10.
He's a good size and uses it to his advantage. Some big guys will not.
Well, he is a pretty good athlete. He has been a 2-year starter as far as baseball is concerned, mainly at first base, has DH'd a little bit. Today we see him on the mound. Also a football player. He was all conference as far as offensive tackle this past fall.
one will be heavily lost by Bosse and Dickinson, as will Jamie Keebler, your on-deck batter. 2 away here, bottom of the first inning. It's Reitz and Bosse on this evening. Hart misses outside with that last one.
And this is the first time this afternoon that Scott has had trouble with his location. The early first 3 batters, he got ahead on the count, either 0-1, 0-2. This is the first time he's worked a count to 3 balls and no strikes now.
Bullock going down to Gilmore at first. Throw was there in time. Tag was not.
And both of these catchers look for them any chance they have with a possible pickoff attempt or a possible stolen base to get some good throws. The pitchers do a good job as far as keeping the runners close to the base. A lot of times they're going to steal a base off the pitcher, but both catchers today have strong arms that are capable of throwing anybody out.
Hart was suffering from tendonitis earlier. Kept him off the hill for a while. Back, he believes, near 100% on this evening. 3-1 here from Hart to Dickinson. Your pitcher versus pitcher combination, and it's first and second for the Bosse Bulldogs.
And after the first 2 went down rather easily, allowed the base hit and now a walk, that'll bring up shortstop Jamie Keebler. 250 on the season for this Bosse Bulldog team. Has a total of 8 hits and 32 at-bats. Has picked up a double, 4 RBIs, and is tied for second as far as runs scored with 9.
One of 5 seniors in the lineup, Keebler. So it's 2 out, 2 on. In the bottom half of the first, high school baseball scheduled for 7. And Elkins, we know, has speed.
And as a pitcher, you don't want to concentrate too much on the runners on the bases.
We were talking about John McCauley last night, Doug, in Aces baseball. What makes him such a great pitcher, one of many things, is he does not concern himself so much with the runners. Once they get on base, you can't really dwell on that fact too much because they're already there. You've already issued a walk or allowed a base hit them, whatever. They've reached on an error. You pretty much have to put that in the back of your mind. You cannot totally forget about them because they might get a good lead, get a great jump if you do not look at them at all to let them know you're aware of their presence on the base paths, but you cannot concentrate so much. Your main concern is with the batter at the plate. There were these pitchers, and we watched a couple in the MCC go back to first base 12 and 14 times. And usually when you see something like that, when they over-exaggerate their pickoff a little bit and go 4 or 5 times, they're showing that they're concerned more with the base runner. He's at first base, second base, whatever base he might be at. Losing concentration on what they're out there to do. Throw strikes, get some balls over the strike zone area. You might give up a couple base hits, but you're also going to get a lot of ground ball outs, a lot of fly balls if your location is good. 1-0 pitch, and it escapes Kevin Bullock, and Eddie Elkins just trots to third, and Dickinson, not the speed of Elkins, holds up at first, so you got him at the corners with still 2 out. And that might be a good example right there. Scott was worried about Andy out there at second base. We saw the attempted pickoff once. He stepped off one more time. You really just can't gear yourself too much to worry about those base runners. 2-0 here to Jamie Keebler. And a nice pitch on the corner for a 2-1 count. We saw Bosse lose a heartbreaker last week. Heartbreaker is probably not a good descriptive scenario of how that was. That was just dreadful. Mater Dei stole a win from Bosse. They had 2 on, nobody out, and bad base running. Lost it for Bosse. What they ended up doing was running themselves out of an inning. They had a chance to possibly tie the ball game with the runners at first and second, nobody out, and just some base running fundamental mistakes right there. And there we see a mistake at third base by Dennis Maynard. Not very well known as far as committing errors down there. Anytime the ball is hit towards the corners of this Reitz Panther team, more times than not, they're going to come up with a play. I have called him time and time again this season one of the finest third basemen in the SIAC. Maynard is a good example of one known for his defense and not his offense. I compare him to Brad Smith of UE for one reason, as because he's such an outstanding defensive player and just lacks a little bit in the batting. And if you have the luxury of being able to DH for that player, that way he can concentrate solely on the defensive part of the game. He doesn't have to worry about his at-bats if he goes up and has an 0 for 2 day.
A lot of times you see defensive players carry their offensive downfall out into the field with them, and really, if you're a good defensive player, you're not going to let that offense help you as far as getting it down. And there we see just a bad pitch down in the dirt, goes all the way almost to first base. Another wild pitch allowing the runners to move up to second and third. But getting back to the defense, if you can concentrate on just your defense, you're going to be a lot better off than some of the other guys that are up there with the plate. Come out with a strikeout, go back and sort of hang your head out there in the outfield or the infield and might have a miscue or two.
Managers headed to a junior college and are graduating with Reitz. Some players develop great hitting practices those first 2 years in a junior college.
I think it really helps, especially getting away from what you're used to being around. As far as being at the high school level, your high school coach is going to do a lot for you, but sometimes if you are struggling, maybe if you get a new coach that's going to teach you maybe something different to help you with your downfall, it will eventually pan out.
Corey Lamb to Charles Gilmore will end the first inning, and Bosse picks up one as Elkins comes across on an E5. Bosse will leave two and again score that one, and so after 1-0 the Bulldogs. We head to the top half of the second inning as you're watching the 1991 SIAC High School Baseball on TV 52.
Make your next party a real celebration. Get everything you need at Celebrations. Choose from all kinds of special decorations, place settings, balloons and banners, gift wrapping, and a full line of rental items. Celebrations is ready for graduation day, too, with graduation party supplies, decorations, and cards. Plus everything you need to throw a winning Indy 500 party. For special events and special occasions, make Celebrations your party supply store. Celebrations in the Woodland Center on Vogel Road, just north of Eastland Mall.
He's back.
And mad as hell. A one-man army, eh?
Alongside Doug Emig, I'm Duran Smith, top half of the second inning, and I warn the other SIAC teams, do not take this Bosse team lightly in the postseason.
Well, their record is a little bit deceiving. We talked about their struggles early in the season, only putting 4 wins together so far, but they have won 2 in a row, pretty much coming together as a team right when you want to, towards the end of the season, gearing up for that postseason play. And really the way the sectional is going to be this year, it's going to be anybody's ball game. There's not really one outstanding team that sticks out that's going to be dominant over the others.
Everybody talks Harrison. Harrison with Memorial gone, and I'm not taking anything away from Harrison. They are an outstanding ball club, but a team like Reitz and even Bosse could come out of this in an upset.
Could be a very surprising sectional this year.
We've seen what teams from this SIAC have done to out-of-town teams, and I always go back to that modern day when they were 0-8 here in the city, or just basically a little bit less than satisfactory as far as record goes, and then they play those out-of-town teams, and they almost went to the state championship.
Well, that was back in football, and getting into that is a little bit different as far as the baseball, just because the way the class structure system is in the football. But quality teams here in Evansville this year, and anytime you're able to play another team that is capable of producing just like you are, if maybe not a little bit better, it's going to make you better, especially whenever you get teams in here out of town that might not be as strong as you.
Base hit here to Engel, as Keebler had no option there to Andy Elkins at first base, and well, we saw what Bosse did to Sal Spencer also earlier in the week, so again it brings up my point of we do quite well with those outside the city, which is I think a compliment to those SIAC teams.
And I think you can contribute to that just to the fact that there are so many teams here with so much talent there, and you can gear back and say, okay, well, this is maybe where we started gelling as a team. We started getting together. It took us a few games to get the scenario under our belt, realizing who was responsible for what as far as your leadoff hitter, your 3-4 men, try to drive in some runs, the bottom of the lineup, sacrifice situations, moving the runners over. Anytime you have the capability of playing somebody that may be a little bit stronger than you, is going to benefit whenever you get somebody that comes in out of town, maybe not quite as strong as ball club as you. You're going to win majority of those games.
Well, you I was joking about have a Terre Haute system, have an Evansville North, South, and Evansville Catholic, and boy, would we be unbeatable. Stolen base there for Craig Angle. Got a nice jump.
Stole that one off the pitcher Dickinson. We saw a good throw there from the catcher Tracy Young, and we talked about the strong arms of both these catchers, Young for Bosse and also Bullock for Reitz. Usually at the high school level, most stolen bases are attributed due to the fact the pitcher is not holding the runners on close enough, or they have a slow delivery. Dickinson, as big as he is, takes a lot of time getting the ball to the plate as far as his windup is concerned, and that's the way most of the stolen bases are going to be registered.
Matt Wendell in left with 2 away. And batter number 9 here, and Dennis Maynard.
And Dennis getting an opportunity to be at the plate. He has usually been DH for a majority of the time. Whenever the pitcher is in there and capable of hitting for himself, they might DH for him or somebody else. On the season at 179, has only had 28 plate appearances and has picked up 5 hits.
So we've seen the first Reitz 9, or about to, with a 1-0 count here to Maynard. 2 away, top half of the second inning. And 1 in scoring position in Angles. We watch that one go down low for ball 2.
And Joe has seemed to found his control once again. He went 3-2 on the first 2 batters back in the first inning, then went 3-2 on Gilmore, the cleanup hitter, in the first inning. But so far, this inning has got ahead with most of his pitches. This is the first batter he's fallen behind on really here in the second.
2 balls, 1 strike. Wind blowing in, not really a wind, but a breeze. 415 straightaway center. And Dickinson is making a habit of this coming back.
And Joe is not blessed with a great fastball, so look for him to bring in a lot of junk, trying to get the Panther hitters off balance up there. He might bring in a fastball early in the count, try to get ahead as far as strikes, then come in with some type of breaking pitch, a changeup, and there we see trying to throw a knuckleball, and he got a strikeout with it.
And thinking maybe that he dropped the ball. He did not. It is strikeout number 3. 1 looking back on the first in Gilmore. It's Bullock, Gilmore, and Maynard. The first 3 and the first 9 for the Reitz Panthers. We've played 1 1/2. And Bosse holds on 1-0 as you're watching the 91 SIAC on TV 52.
Vacations are a great time to get away from it all, but not if your car leaves you stuck in the middle of nowhere. Before you hit the road, head to M&M Auto Service. They provide total car care maintenance, from basic engine service to the diagnosis of complex computerized systems. The trained ASE-certified technicians at M&M Auto Service can ensure your vehicle performs reliably and that your vacations become fond memories and not unplanned disasters. For your car, choose M&M Auto Service, Heidelbach and Franklin.
Ooh, yeah, Macho King and the Sensational Queen. WWF Wrestling Spotlight, yeah. And catch all the action from these at 12 noon, right here on TV 52. Just for you. Ooh, yeah. Dig it.
This week on Wrestling Spotlight, the ruthless Colonel Mustafa, All-American Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and the Berserker.
Shum Rifford, Marcel Cooksey, 7-8 dying for the Bosse Bulldogs. Here in the bottom half of the second inning, Doug Emig.
Chuck comes in at 267 on the season. He is another outstanding defensive player at third base for this Bosse Bulldog team. A lot of range. He's going to get to the majority of the balls that are hit his way, knock him down, and he has the arm able to throw them out. On the season, 8 for 30. He's picked up a double and 6 RBIs.
The seniors, Shum, and 2 juniors, Rifford and Cooksey. Take a look at them here in this bottom half of the second.
And this Bosse Bulldog Ball Club, not really blessed with a lot of talent as far as comparing them with some of the other schools here in the city, but Coach May is doing an outstanding job gearing his club to play the type of baseball that he wants them to, as far as getting the fundamentals down, go up to the plate in situations, look for a certain pitch. If you've got a runner on first or second base, right-handed hitter, try to take something to the opposite field, go to the right side, advance those runners.
There were times when this team was, Doug, losing 27-2, 30-3, and those days are gone.
Jeff has been there, I believe, 3 years, so has not really had a lot of time to gear this ball club to the way he wants to do it. But look for a couple years whenever he has the capability of taking a club as freshmen and sort of molding them into the ball players that he wants.
That was the first strikeout for Scott Hart, and it brings up the junior Ronnie Rifford, the right fielder.
Rifford had 182, 4 hits and 22 plate appearances. Not a lot of time at bat this year. Has picked up 3 RBIs. Also has 3 walks.
Not a bad day for baseball. Cloudy with the sun trying to come on out, and again the breeze blowing in. Working our way halfway through May already. 0-2.
And not a bad idea there from Ron. He saw that the third baseman, Dennis Maynor, was playing back a little bit. He's creeped in a little bit now. With 2 strikes, he really needs to move back into his regular position. Behind the third base bag, hopefully he saw he had a chance to lay down a bunt down the third base line and use his speed to beat it out.
1-2 here from Scott Hart. People are asking what our coverage will be in the postseason, and due to IHS AA rules, we are not allowed to carry the first 2 rounds of the sectional, Doug. But we will be able to cover that championship game on June the 2nd out here. We'll replay that on a Sunday night. Chance for you to come on out here for championship night and watch it the next night here on TV 52, but those first 2 rounds are not allowed to be covered by any television station anywhere in its entirety.
Well, hopefully the luck of the draw will provide some good first and second round coverage as far as the teams matching up with one another. And we've talked about it all season long as far as trying to pick a contender or maybe a dark horse to come out. It's really going to be a wide open sectional.
It helps sometimes to have a couple of pitchers. Now, we saw Wheeler for North a couple of times, and they also have a man by the name of Andy Dillo over there also.
Dillo has been somewhat their ace so far. Wheeler's only pitched in 3 or 4 games this year, really helping Coach Sparrow out as far as giving him another arm to put on the mound. Not blessed with the best of pitching talents. His main job, the catcher and the leader of the offense, controlling the defense out there, does a good job. He knows what he's out there to do, not really work so many strikeouts into his repertoire or anything, just basically throw pitches, get strikes over the plate, produce some ground ball situations, and basically just give Coach Sparrow an extra 7 innings so he can allow his other 2 or 3 pitchers a day's rest.
Batting 9th here, Marcel Cooksey with a swing and a miss here. The DH for Matt Wendell, the left fielder.
Cooksey on the season had 100, another one that has not seen a lot of batting time. He's picked up a hit in 10 plate appearances, has also picked up an RBI.
And it's the second strikeout. Both coming in the inning here for Scott Hart. We have seen 2 complete. Bosse holding on to that lead. They're up 1-0. And we're back out to Bosse Field after this timeout on TV 52.
It's no fairy tale.
Right. Not hundreds, but thousands of tri-staters have bought their new snappers from Youth. Snapper Walkmores from $289.99. Snapper Riders from $899.99. All you really need to know about lawn mowing is Snapper. And all you need to know about Snapper is Muth. Muth's outdoor power equipment, 300 North Congress, right across from the kids' room. It's no fairy tale. Hey!
The perfect combination. The perfect combination.
How perfect is Rally's $1.97 combination? You compare. The everyday price for a similar combo at McDonald's, Burger King, or Hardee's is over $3. Now, isn't that food for thought?
For the perfect combination.
Wheel into America's fastest growing hamburger chain.
Wheel into Rally's.
The perfect combination, just $1.97 every day at Rally's.
We've seen all 18 batters, 9 apiece for Reitz and Bosse. Top half of the 3rd inning, Kevin Pollock, strikeout victim back in the 1st. Joe Dickinson throwing hard on the hill for the Bulldogs so far this evening.
Top half of the 3rd will be Bullock, Hart, and Hayes. Kevin came in at .339 overall, 20 for 59. Does a good job defensively. We talked about his catching responsibilities. Basically, his job out there is to be the coach on the field. Coach Johnson relies a lot on him as far as calling the pitches of the game, aligning his defense, going with the players as far as left-handed, right-handed. You might shift your outfield over one way or another depending on who's up at the plate. Does a good job offensively, too.
striking out 3 of the first 9 he faced. And he walked 1. Little roller here to Andy Elkins, 1 away.
And anytime as a pitcher you can come out and throw 1 or 2 pitches and get a ground ball out, or come out and throw 1 pitch and get a fly ball, it's going to help you once you get into the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings. The fewer number of pitches you throw early in the game will be that much more to your advantage as far as keeping your strength. There we see another knuckleball attempt. He got a strikeout from Dennis Maynard back in the 2nd inning on that knuckleball. That one just got away up out of the strike zone.
This one takes off, and it's got a good shot. Matt Wendell over. I was going to misread that one. No chance. 2 away.
And most of these ball clubs here, especially in the city, are used to playing in this Bosse Field ballpark.
Yeah, how many times have we talked about those opposing teams like LaSalle Spencer come in and just be completely lost?
A lot of room, especially out in the alleys and the straightaway center field. As a high school player, it's always big to come out and have a ball game out here at Bosse Field. I remember when I was playing, we played a lot of games on our home diamond, but anytime we had a chance to come out to Bosse Field, it's almost like stepping onto a major league ballpark. And just the atmosphere out here, you have to learn where to play during what certain situations. Whenever you've got a power hitter up, you might take an extra few steps back.
In out of the reach of Jamie Keebler. To the backhand didn't work, so it's the 3rd base hit for the Panthers.
And that is the 2nd on the afternoon for Todd Hayes. Both singles have been to left field. This is the first baseman, Charles Gilmore, strikeout victim looking back in the 1st inning.
2 away in the top of our 3rd inning. Bosse again leading by a score of 1-0. Don't forget, tomorrow night on TV 52, it's back with Little League Baseball, as this week we will take a look at the West. Hayes here going, and thought better of it. That can cause trouble. He changed his mind after about 10 steps.
And neither one of these catchers here this afternoon are afraid to use their arm. They have confidence in their throws and know they have a good throwing arm. Not a lot of throwing errors as far as the season is concerned. So anytime as a base runner, the catchers see maybe an extra step or 2 off the base, look for him to gun him down, or at least try to.
Count 1-1 here to Charles Gilmore, the senior. 6 seniors in the lineup this evening for Reitz.
Charles has been their big RBI man all year, leads the team with 16. And not really a running situation here. Scott Hayes has not have a stolen base on the season, and just as I say that, there he goes.
Got there in time. That was closer than I thought originally. Tag put on by David McCutcheon, so Wright's trying to tie it up with Hayes now in scoring position.
And once again, I think you can attribute that stolen base to Dickinson just because he has a slow move. Takes a lot of time between his windup and his actual delivery of the pitch, and that throw just a little bit off to the shortstop side of second base. So Hayes able to get in, sneak in with a stolen base.
2 balls and 1 strike here to Charles Gilmore. Taking a nice shot right past Chuck Shaw at 3rd. This is going to tie up your ball game. Incoming, Todd Hayes. RBI single for Gilmore.
And that ball was just hit too hard for Shum to have any type of play down at third base. He was kind of playing off of the third base line a little bit. This early in the game, you don't want to worry about trying to protect the line for the extra base hits. Came off the bat so fast he did not have a chance to even get his body over. Tried to backhand it, but was unable to come up with it.
Bill Hammonds, the junior right fielder. Second on this team as far as the batting average goes.
Came in at 350, 14 for 40. He was a ground-out victim to the shortstop Keebler back in the first inning. He's picked up 14 RBIs, also a pair of doubles, 3 doubles, and a triple.
The 0-1 is upstairs, so we're 1-1 here to Hammonds. Louis Meredith on deck, but 2 away in the 3rd inning. We talked about maybe Dickinson getting too concerned with those on the bases, especially with there being 2 outs.
Well, he's not really worrying a whole lot. You can tell by the move whenever he throws him over there. He's not really trying to attempt a pickoff, just letting the runner right now, Gilmore, know that he's over there. If you keep throwing over there, you're going to get him maybe a step closer to the bag, but you can't really concentrate so much on it and forget about the guys at the plate. On the season, Charles is 1 out of 4 in the stolen base department, so once again, not really a threat to run, but we saw what happened when I said that last time.
Foul it back, bring the count 2-2. Again, it's 3 strikeouts for Dickinson. That's through the first 13 batters.
And it's really been hard this season, especially with as much talent as has been in the city programs this year, to kind of guess what the coaches are going to do as far as strategy. They know the players, they know what they're capable of doing. You can't really go by the book, because sometimes the book is not capable of qualifying for your type of ball team.
For the 4th time, we're a 3-2 from Dickinson, but first we'll check back Gilmore here at first.
And now he knows he's going to be running with a 3-2 situation. 2 men are out. He's going to be off with the pitch. You just want to keep him as close to first base as you can.
George Sanders in center field, way in, and that's how it ends. Lights will leave one, but more importantly, score one and tie this thing up after 2 1/2. Tied at 1 and back out to Bosse Field after this timeout.
Mattingly's 23, known for its unique sports lounge and delicious array of dinner entrees, also serves daily luncheon specials, offering a different homemade plate lunch special daily for only $4.25. Or you can go with soup and a sandwich for the same price. Lunch is served from 11 to 4, Monday through Friday. Mattingly's 23 is also open Sunday with a delicious selection of lunch and dinner specials. Good food and a great atmosphere. That's Mattingly's 23 Restaurant and Lounge. TV 52 has what you want to see. Local sports and special events, Cisco and Ebert, classic movies, and a whole lot more. Now you can become a part of TV 52's programming by becoming a sponsor. We'll even come to your business and make a commercial just for you. We have a talented staff who will work to get your ad seen and noticed by our viewing audience. So call now to find out more at 422-9685. That's 422-9685, TV 52, just for you.
Bottom of the 3rd, top of the order for the Bosse Bulldogs. Again, they enter at 4-10 on a streak, if you will. And the Wright Panthers 11-10 as we watch it back on a Friday evening here on TV 52. Sanders, McCutcheon, and Elkins.
Bottom half of the 3rd here, Sanders 0 for 1 today. Flyout victim to Todd Hayes out in left field in the 1st inning. Came in at 214 for Bosse.
Through the first couple has been steady. He has retired the last 4. Picking up 2 strikeouts back an inning ago.
Scott struggled a little bit in the 1st inning, allowed a walk and a base hit and also an error, enabling that run to cross the plate, set him down 1-2-3 a 2nd inning.
Nice on the inside there to bring the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Breezing and blowing in, but that's about it. Pushing Sanders back in a 3-1 count.
And it looks like right now Scott is trying to pitch too finely as far as the pitcher is concerned. You can't really try to work the corner so much when you're behind on the count. Come in, throw a good fastball, get it over the plate, and get some ground balls just like that.
Corey Lamb to Charles Gilmore. Scored 4-3 and 1 away.
Spring up the 2nd baseman, David McCutcheon. Came in at 318, 0 for 1 today. He tried that bunt back in the 2nd inning. Excellent fielding job by Bullock, coming out of the catcher's box, pouncing on that ball and making a good strong throw to first.
McCutcheon just a junior, as is Sanders. So some inspiration there for maybe Coach May and this Bosse team next year. The 2 who lead off, it is juniors. They've been there most of the season. Sanders and this McCutcheon. Well, on the upstairs, that was a swing at a ball there.
And I'm sure if he had that opportunity once again, he would lay off that pitch. It's kind of hard, especially this early in the ball game, still trying to figure out what type of repertoire Scott Hart has out there on the mound. So you pretty much are guessing the first couple innings as far as what type of pitches he's going to be coming in with.
That's the second hit for the Bulldogs here in the bottom half of the third. So after getting the last 5 to go down, Hart giving up that single to center field, and it brings up Mr. Andy Elkins.
And he picked up a single and came around the score, the first of Bosse's one run this afternoon. He got a single and advanced to third on a wild pitch, scored on that error from third baseman Dennis Maynard back in the first inning.
Dickinson on deck, one away, runner goes. Bullock has a nice arm, and it's down there, but it's not in time. They say there are no ties, Doug. He's either safe or he's not. That was
right.
Close.
Another thing, there's not anything as close. He's either safe or he's out. A good pitch there for Hart. Hit and run situation on. Andy did what he was supposed to do. He knew the steal was on. He had to protect that runner. And with that swing maybe affecting the throw from the catcher Bullock just a little bit.
Big cut there from Andy. He's down 0-2 for the moment.
And Andy really can't concentrate so much on being the power hitter of this ball club. They're capable of scoring some runs. We've seen them early in the season. Has to think more or less as a base hit type of hitter up there. You're going to get your long balls when you get the right pitch. You can't really swing for the fence each time up.
Up and over run. Keep it 0-2.
Home runs are nice, but they are few and far apart.
We've seen a couple. Almost saw Wheeler pick up 2. He had 2 about 375 feet away. One hopper off the wall. Earlier this week when we saw North. Andy goes down here on the K. And his third strikeout of the afternoon for Scott Hart.
I'll bring up the cleanup hitter, our pitcher this afternoon for Bosse, Joe Dickinson. Drew a walk and was left stranded at third back in the first inning. Came in at 234 for Bosse.
Tied at 1. Down at second, David McCutcheon. And a nice pitch there from Hart. Hart looks like to be a groove pitcher. Get him in a groove throwing strikes, and he continues to do it. We saw that an inning ago.
I think that just basically relies on your concentration. You have to get out there, know what you're out there to do, throw the strikes, get ground balls like this. They're not going to hurt you.
Meredith to Gilmore. It ends that way, and so goes 3 innings in the book. Tied at 1, 4 hits to 2 hits, and that one belongs to the Reitz Panthers. We'll be back with more SIAC high school baseball after this timeout.
Is CDs for $6. Baseball cards and comic books. Buy, sell, or trade. Used tapes and albums. Books, movies, and more. The Book Broker, Fair Lawn Shopping Center.
The animals in the forest. If they could talk, what would they say? They might say, be careful with fire in the forest. Just like Smokey says, only you can prevent forest fires.
Back out of Bosse Field alongside Doug Emick. I'm Darren Smith. Top half of the 4th inning, Louis Meredith, Craig Angle, Corey Lamb. Let's go down to Dennis Maynard to round it out a second time for the Reitz Panthers. We're tied at 1.
Louis 0 for 1 this afternoon, flew out to the right fielder Ron Rifford back in the second inning. Has been a pretty steady performer for Coach Johnston all season long, keeping that average right around the 300 mark. Came in at 309. And is going to give you some quality at bats. Also an excellent defensive shortstop.
Meredith, the senior. We've got 2 juniors in Angle and Lamb. Top of the 4th inning.
And so far, Dickinson not really fooling these Reitz hitters. He has allowed a base hit in each of the first 3 innings, 2 back in the 3rd inning off the bats of Hayes and Gilmore, but not really a lot of production from the Reitz offense so far. The lone run coming back in that 3rd inning.
1-0 pitch, just a bit high. And Dickinson early when he faces the batter. Seems to get his junk out of the way and then settle down.
Well, it's kind of been two different ball games as far as Joe's concerned. He's fallen behind in the first inning and then came back in the second inning. Did a pretty good job as far as getting the early strikes over. Now we see an easy pop fly out to Ron Rifford in right field for the first out. Brings up the center fielder Craig Angle. Picked up a single and a stolen base. Left stranded at second back in the second inning.
Lamb on deck. Some of the aces have arrived here at Bosse Field for a game they had later on this night against Middle Tennessee. You will see that game on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. And boy, Doug, we were out here on a Wednesday evening, and it looked like the aces were going to go down until Mr. Marty Watson took one better than 400 feet to win it in the bottom half of the ninth inning.
Not taking anything away from any of the high school games that we have done this year, but that was probably the best ball game we've had all year. We've had a good couple of comebacks from the high school level, but as far as the momentum going the Aces' way, they came in winning 13 of their last 15 ball games. In a position right now, they can't afford another loss. They're shooting for the MCC tournament coming up in the middle month of May up at South Bend, gearing towards NC2A tournament time. And they're on a roll right now, and we knew it was just a matter of time last night before that offense kicked in.
Be nice to see a big crowd out here this weekend for the Aces. A 4-game set with the St. Louis Billikens. And that is all you will see of the Aces at Bosse Field in 1991.
So if you have not yet had a chance to come out and see them, it's a good opportunity. Saturday they've got a twin bill, twilight doubleheader starting at 5 o'clock. Then another doubleheader Sunday afternoon starting at 1. So if you want to get out here, see some big-time Division I baseball, these Aces are playing it right now.
They say one of the finest schools, Division I in the Midwest, is Evansville. Before you laugh at that, take a look at their record these days. Not in time. Try it down here at third. Not in time. Keep them at the corners with one away.
There we saw the range of the shortstop, Jamie Keebler, able to go over into the hole, really too far away to make a good throw. He had to catch the ball, then almost stop, plant his back foot to set to throw the ball. And the speed from Corey Lamb enabled him to beat that out for an infield single. Smart running by Angle there. He was off with the pitch, so he knew as soon as the ball was going to first base, his opportunity to third was to take it right then, and he took it.
Dennis Maynard, the third baseman, struck out, which ended the second. Right here trying to keep their own streak going.
And that was a suicide squeeze. Good job by Dennis just getting a piece of the ball. It was up out of the strike zone around eye level. Anytime you have a suicide squeeze on, the runner from third is taking off as soon as the pitcher commits to home. So you as a batter have to get a piece of that ball, fair or foul. Should you miss it and the catcher catches it, the runner from third is pretty much a dead duck.
0-1 on the inside for a 1-1 count. Bullock on deck. That's back on top.
And these are the kind of ball games that you want to get into these situations as far as a coach. You're gearing up towards sectional play. Situation here, first and third, only one man out. Why not try a suicide squeeze? See how it's going to work. If you've got a hitter up there capable of laying down a good bunt, use the speed from the runner at third base, basically steal a run from this Bosse ball club.
1-2 here to Maynard. 6 hits for Reitz. Here in the top half of our fourth inning. Got him looking, this time looking. Last time was swinging away. Maynard 0-2 on 2 Ks on the early afternoon.
And that looked like another knuckleball from Dickinson. You can tell by the way he grips the ball with the knuckles bent over and the hand on top of the ball. That's when the knuckleball is going to come in. Not a lot of high school pitchers are able to control a knuckleball pitch like that.
Kevin Bullock struck out, grounded out to the first baseman, first and third.
Kevin came in at .339, 20 for 59 coming in tonight, so this average will fall just a little bit with his 0 for 2 tonight.
Upstairs, going to back up Ronnie Rifford in right field. Maybe playing in a little bit too much. 2-1, and they're waving across the third. In comes Corey Lamb, 3-1. And it's a 2 RBI triple for Kevin Bullock, and he was due.
Kind of like the Evansville team, whenever you've got the capability of having these type of athletes, you know sooner or later the pitcher's going to make a mistake and they're going to take advantage of it. A big 2-out, 2-run triple there off the bat of Bullock, giving Scotty Hart a couple more runs to work with. Now he's up at the plate 0 for 1 today. A walk back in the first inning and flew out to left field back in the third.
Hayes on deck now. There's 2 away. Her at the start and Maynard with the strikeout. "90 feet away, the Reitz fourth. As mentioned, these two teams met before in 12-1. Reitz.
That was early in the season, and Coach May was still trying to find out exactly what his ball club was made of as far as trying to get a starting 9 out there. And this is a situation you don't see a lot of time in the high school level. A pitcher able to come up and help himself at the bat. 2 outs, you've got a 1-2 situation, a runner at third base. Any type of base hit will score another run, giving you a 3-run lead.
Keep it on the ground. Need this one. A little bobble here by Keebler. He has to eat it, Doug.
And had he fielded that cleanly, I don't know that he would have even had a chance at Scott Hart. Again, that was a situation where the ball was hit to the right side of the shortstop, having to go over into the hole, and usually at the high school level you're going to have speed at the top of the lineup. So had he fielded it, he would have had to make a strong throw, an accurate throw, and able to get hard at first.
Run score is 4-1, and it's another base hit, a one-hopper to Ronnie Rifford in right field, and Reitz continues to pour it on. First and second here with still 2 away.
And Todd Hayes just picked up his 3rd hit on the afternoon. Singles back in the first and third, came around to score a run in that 3rd inning. It'll bring up the cleanup hitter, first baseman Charles Gilmore, 1 for 2 today, a strikeout victim in the first and picked up an RBI single in the third.
After getting Meredith, here is batter number 8 in the top half of the 4th inning. Hammonds awaits on deck. Senior Gilmore. This has got a shot to go over the head of Matt Wendell. It is off the wall. Bring across another. Todd Hayes crosses the plate. A 2 RBI double for Charles Gilmore.
And when it rains, it seems to pour. Situation here, 2 outs. You had runners on the first and second base, or first and third base, and really concentrated. Got a strikeout victim for Maynard to get the 2nd out of the inning. Then the offense from these Reitz Panther team. Big 2-run double or triple from the bat of Kevin Bullock. Now 2 more runs across the plate.
First one we've seen Gilmore with the triple. Mentioned a single earlier. With the 2 RBIs.
And this is the 9th batter of the inning so far for Reitz. Bill Hammonds, a right fielder, 0 for 2 today. Came in at 350, a ground out victim to the shortstop in the first inning and flew out to center field back in the third.
Batter number 9. 5 in here alone. 6-1, 8 hits for the Reitz Panthers.
And there we see Bosse coach Jeff May just out there trying to get everything back into sync. They've kind of fallen apart here in this inning, allowing 5 runs so far to cross the plate. You still got a runner at second base, but you have 2 out. Talk to Dickinson a little bit. Try to get the pitches down in the strike zone. Try to produce some ground ball situations to where you can maybe get out of this inning with only 5 runs crossing the plate. Get back into the dugout, concentrate on your offense.
Playing games down at second. Dickinson needs to concentrate on getting 1 more. A little bobble here. Should still get it in time. Dickinson to Elkins. 5 runs come across for the Reitz Panthers here in the top half of the 4th inning. They'll end up leaving 1, but the lead has been increased to 5. 6-1 Reitz, and back out to Bosse Field. After this time out on TV 52. Aces take on the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, right here on TV 52.
Good buddies, they're the best of friends. Good buddies, and the good times never end. Their critical minds are always debating. Keep your eye on their thumbs to find out the rating. Good buddies, good buddies, but are they best of friends? Yeah.
WAZ TV 52, Evansville.
And also defensively, their best, Mike Fetcher.
He has been the ace of the staff. Not a lot of run production as far as support on the season. His record at 2-4. Big numbers that pop out are his strikeouts. I've had the opportunity a couple times this year as the home plate umpire to call his games, and when I've had him, he has been on. He has really improved between his junior and senior year, and I think he can contribute that to one of the assistant coaches, Okie Pryor, that was a player out at USI, has really worked with Mike well over the fall and the early spring, got him in the weight room, put some bulk on there, and his strikeouts have improved immensely.
He's got nice stuff. Our first look at Fetcher here on TV 52. Jamie Keebler, Tracy Young, and Chuck Shum and Bosse need some runs, and it'll be tough to do against this guy.
Looking at the numbers, he's appeared in 47 innings. 69 strikeouts and only 19 walks. As a pitcher, you want to try to average about 2 strikeouts for every 1 walk. Excellent numbers as far as his control. Only 19 walks in those 47 innings.
Down low from Fetcher. 2-1. Keebler helping in that run back in the first for Bosse. Was an E5 as the count goes 2-2 here.
His overall record at 2-4, so we talked not really a lot of run support so far this year. CRA right around 3.26, and there we see the first strikeout victim.
Tracy Young, another senior, the catcher.
If Mike is on, look for a lot of strikeouts this afternoon. Tracy Young, the catcher, due up now. 0 for 1 this afternoon, a ground-out victim to the second baseman, Corey Lamb, back in the first inning.
Going right to work here on Young with 0-1. Shum struck out, victim of Hart, back in the second. He's on deck.
And I think Coach Pryor has really worked with Mike as far as his mound presence out there. He's kind of like John McCauley as far as getting the ball, getting his sign, and coming back rather quickly with his pitches, and it's going to help him as a pitcher keep concentrating on his job out there, throw strikes. It's also going to help your defensive players. If you know you've got a pitcher out there on the mound that doesn't waste a lot of time, he gets the ball, gets his sign, is back with the pitch, you're going to be up on your toes a lot, ready to field ground ball situations.
Throwing hard is Fetcher.
It's got a lot of zip on his fastball, and it does have some movement, so it's going to be a little bit deceptive to these Bosse Bulldogs hitters. It's come in, and it might take a little dish to the outside or maybe a little movement towards the inside. Movement on the fastball, has a good off-speed pitch, so when he gets ahead on the count, look for him to start playing with that strike zone.
Wright's defense has retired 9 of the last 10. The last 4 has sat down as Fetcher let that one get away from him. Three and 0. Ronnie Rifford on deck. Has to be there. Found the corner.
You're not going to find too many times during a ball game that Mike is going to be in this situation to where he falls behind 3-0. Has the capability of coming back with good quality pitches, and there we see a base hit from Shum, his first on the afternoon. So Bosse is not dead yet, even though what they're in there, they know he's a good pitcher. You got to concentrate on looking for that one pitch.
I think once you start believing that, oh boy, look who's pitching, and you start believing you're beat, you will be beat.
You can't really let let that get into your frame of mind as going up there as a hitter. You know he's got good stuff, but you have to think positive. You've seen him before. You know a lot of pitches that he throws. He's going to throw the fastball most of the time early in the count. Sometimes he'll come in with a breaking pitch, but really you have to look for that fastball early in the count. Should you fall behind, look for the breaking stuff to come in and adjust your swing to that.
Stepping out here, Ron Rifford. Marcel Cooksey on deck. We're in the bottom half of the fourth inning, scheduled for 7. And Reitz right now in command, 6-1. 5 runs coming across the top of this inning. Overall, we've seen 11 hits, 8 belonging to the Panthers. Each team has committed 1 error. Check back here, Fetcher, and that was close. Very close.
Mike has a good move. He has an advantage, of course, by being a left-hander. He has the luxury of looking right at the runner, knowing exactly how far he is off the base. And he's the type of pitcher that's going to vary his motion, try to deceive the runner as much as possible, and still remain within the rule book. Whenever you get into a left-handed pitcher, a lot of times a balk situation comes about as far as they're stepping with that front foot. They have a 45-degree angle. If they break that plane of the back part of the rubber with their foot, they must commit to home plate or wheel and throw to second base.
Trying to bunt his way aboard. It's foul here on the third base side. And your count 2-2.
And I think that attempted bunt from Rifford surprised the Reitz defense as much as me. 2-out situation, not really a bunting situation here. You've got a runner at first base, but he saw third baseman Maynard playing a little bit deep. He is a track person, so you know he's got to have a lot of speed. Try to use that. Get the ball on the ground. Look for him. Try to hit some type of ground ball situation, then use his speed, able to beat it out maybe.
On the inside corner. So Fetcher is 3-2. Breeze shifts towards left for the moment. Out by a couple of steps is Shum at first. 3-2 pitch, got him. Second strikeout of the inning. Second belongs to Fetcher. We have played 4 complete. Our score is 6-1. The Wright Panthers will back out to Bosse Field after this timeout on TV 52.
The perfect combination.
How perfect is Rally's $1.97 combination? You compare. The everyday price for a similar combo at McDonald's, Burger King, or Hardee's is over $3. Now, isn't that food for thought?
For the perfect combination.
Wheel into America's fastest growing hamburger chain.
Wheel into Rally's.
The perfect combination, just $1.97 every day at Rally's.
Hello, I'm Randy Wheeler of WIKY News, and every week you can talk to the mayor of the city of Evansville about whatever is on your mind on the Mayor's Hotline. The Mayor's Hotline program is a public affairs presentation of TV 52. Join us.
Leading off in the 5th inning for Wright. Top half of the 5th inning with Doug Emick. I'm Duran Smith, and as Louis Meredith did in the 2nd and 4th, you will do so in the 5th. Lead things off for the Wrights Panthers.
Pretty good whenever you can have your 6-hitter capability of hitting the ball like Louis does, almost like a second leadoff hitter. You've got Bullock at the top of the lineup. Meredith now leading off for the 3rd time today. 0 for 2, came in at 309, a flyout victim to right field both times up.
On the outside corner, a little chilly on this evening, Doug.
Well, the rain hit last night, and so that's going to bring in the cooler weather. And started out this afternoon, the black clouds were around. They weren't really forecasting any type of rain, but they have kind of gotten out of the picture right now. Sun has peeked out a couple of times, but the wind is blowing, so it is a cool afternoon.
How many times have we woken up in the morning and just said, we're not going to play ball today, and the sun just peeks out right around 3 or 4 o'clock?
Well, everybody around the Evansville area is used to the changing weather. The old saying goes, if you don't like the weather, stay around for 15 or 20 minutes. It'll change. It's been the way it has been most of this year. And we've really been fortunate with our telecast that we have not gotten more rained out than we have.
2-2 pitch. David McCutcheon to Elkins. One problem we have run into with those Friday afternoon games down at the softball park there, the new Sportsman's Park here at Evansville, and the SIAC's Fast Pitch Softball League, 5 weeks, 3 rainouts.
Not very good as far as the batting average so far, but hopefully once we get into the later months, as far as a couple weeks into May, those April showers will be out of the way, and hopefully we'll get some more games in. A chance for everybody to get a look at this new Fast Pitch League. The players are adjusting well, struggling a little bit the first couple weeks. Our first telecast out there, 10 runs scored in our first inning, so we really were not sure of what to expect, but I think the offense has kind of gotten used to the location as far as the fast pitches coming in. The girls have adjusted well as far as learning how to throw the ball under the fast pitch fashion.
Well, the Reitz girls team was involved in that 45-run affair. It was something like 28-17, I believe
that's what it was.
Mater Dei has lost their first city game. They lost to Harrison on Wednesday. Mater Dei looks to be tough as far as girls fast pitch softball goes.
And you really could not look at one team, sort of compare it to the high school baseball level. Not really one team coming into this season looked like a dominant team, just for the fact nobody knew what to expect. Only a handful of the girls were used to the fast pitch, actually playing some during the summer months.
Jimmy Keebler has that one.
And Dickinson has settled down after that big 5-run outburst from Reitz an inning ago, getting the first 2 here in the top half of the 5th inning. That'll bring up the second baseman, Corey Lamb, 1 for 2. Flyout victim to left in the second, and picked up a single, an infield single back in the 4th.
Maynard on deck. Lamb looking for another. Again to center field. Bringing this time George Sanders, and that's it. We have played 5 1/2, and up by 5 of the Reitz Panthers. This is the 1991 SIAC High School Baseball on TV 52.
Hey, do you know what 455 air conditioning is? It's when you have to roll down all 4 windows and drive 55 just to cool off. Before the heat really kicks in, take your car to M&M Auto Service for a thorough and complete air conditioning check. The ASE certified technicians at M&M Auto Service will add Freon, inspect for leaks, check pressures and temperatures, and clean your condenser, making sure your car's air conditioning system is prepared for the sweltering months ahead. M&M Auto Service, Heidelbach and Franklin.
This week on Cisco and Ebert, Ellen Barkin plays a male chauvinist who is transformed into a woman in Switch.
I'm sick and tired of being treated like a piece of meat.
Also, Michael Keaton is a cop trying to save a family without losing his soul.
He's fair, some low-life dirtbag, has millions of dollars when other people can't put a roof over their heads.
One Good Cop this week on Cisco and Ebert.
Back out of Bosse Field alongside Doug Emig. I'm Darren Smith, 6-1 in favor of the Reitz Panthers.
And we're in a 7-inning game here, so it is getting down to the nitty-gritty time as far as Bosse is concerned. They've got 9-1-2 due up here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, but they're facing the ace of this Panther team, Mike Fetcher. If they're going to get something going, they have to get it going right now.
Reitz reminded me a lot of a Central, playing the same type of ball these days, Doug.
And we have a pinch hitter, Matt Wendell, who was originally being DH'd for Marcel Cooksey. Started the game, had 1 at bat, so Wendell, playing defense all game, is coming into bat here. On the season, Wendell at 143, only 14 plate appearances, has picked up 2 hits, 1 of those a double, also picked up 2 RBIs.
Bottom half of the 5th inning. There on the outside corner. And Bosse has some work to do as they trail by 5. And curving foul and out of play.
And look for Mike to be a little bit more on this inning. He came in the last inning, his first inning of work, picked up 2 strikeouts, so he's got an inning under his belt. He's got his arm loosened up a little bit, so I really look for him to be on this inning here and the next 2.
1-2 pitch. Got him. Tried to pull back. Out there on the corner. 1 away.
Brings up the leadoff hitter, center fielder George Sanders. 0 for 2 today. Flew out to left field in the first and a ground out victim to second back in the third. And there's not really a lot you can do as the Bosse Ball Club right now, with the exception of look up there. Fetcher's going to come in with his quality pitches. Hopefully he'll make a mistake and you have to take advantage of that.
First inside ball here to Sanders. 1 away, bottom of 5, 2-0 the count.
And he's showing good patience up there. That ball was outside, out of the strike zone. Initially thought it was going to be close, but he had enough strength to hold that bat back to draw a second ball.
Batter now, Fetcher and Bullock for the Reitz Panthers. And 3-0. Count here to Sanders. You said, Doug, very rarely will you see 3 balls up there with Fetcher on the hill, and extremely rarely will you see 4 straight balls out of Fetcher.
Well, he struggled a little bit that first inning he was in the 4th. He went 3-1 on the batter Chuck Shum before he got a single, and then went 3-2 on Rifford before he got him to strike out.
Todd Hayes in left with 2 away. And it brings up the junior David McCutcheon.
McCutcheon 1 for 2 this afternoon. Tried that bunt attempt back in the first inning, was thrown out. Kevin Bullock to Charles Gilmore, and then reached on a single and stole a base back in the 3rd.
That's a 1-0 count here to begin things. Fetcher seems relaxed.
Well, he's not on today. You can tell that. He's come out and fallen behind 2 of the 3 batters he's faced here in the 5th. Went 3-0 on Sanders before getting a strike, and now has worked the count 3-0 on McCutcheon. Not really used to coming out of the bullpen like that. The majority of his games he has appeared in, he has been the starting pitcher and has done a good job all year long. Not really a lot of run support in a lot of games that he's pitched. You can tell that by his ERA. A good ERA. The win-loss record not so good, but the strikeouts jump out at you, and the issue of walks, very few. So it's maybe going to take him an inning, maybe 2 here, to really get into the thinking part of the ball game as far as the pitcher is concerned.
Worked it back to 3-2. Looking for another K. Get that one back. He has 3 since coming in the 4th. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And should McCutcheon reach, the first baseman Andy Elkins due up 1 for 2 today.
Reaches on a rare walk by Fetcher. Elkins a strikeout victim of Scott Hart back in the 3rd.
He picked up a single and came around to score back in that first inning. The only run so far Bosse has plated this afternoon. Average coming into tonight's game at 222.
Fetcher trying to go back to business, just missed with that one.
Well, his location is there as far as over the plate, as far as inside, outside. He needs to work on location as far as up and down, and he almost got him there. Very good move for a left-handed pitcher. As a runner, McCutcheon, you have to be extra cautious, especially with a left-hander on the mound like that. 2-out situation, you don't want to get picked off, possibly taking yourself out of an inning.
Trying to end the inning, Dennis Maynard to Charles Gilmore, who holds on. And now we've seen 5 complete. With still a 5-run lead for the Reitz Panthers. Our score is 6-1. And you're watching Bosse and Reitz in the 1991 SIAC High School Baseball Race on TV 52.
I'm Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Tune in to WWF Wrestling Challenge and catch all the action Saturdays at 12 noon right here on TV 52. Just for you, tough guy.
This week on Wrestling Challenge, it's the debut of IRS. Watch the Legion of Doom meets the Orient Express right here.
Number 12, third baseman, Dennis.
Top half of the sixth inning, along with Doug Emig, I'm Darren Smith. Reitz and Bosse on this particular evening. And for the most part, it's been the Reitz Panthers. A big inning for them back in the fourth when 5 came across.
Well, they put together 5 runs on 5 base hits in that fourth inning, sent 9 players to the plate. 9, 1, and 2 due up here in the sixth inning for Reitz. Maynard, Bullock, and Hart. Dennis Maynard, the third baseman, 0 for 2 today, a strikeout victim both times.
A little breeze in, but that's been about it on this day at Bosse Field. And Maynard takes this one, a nice hit, and it just stays fair on the left field side. Power from Maynard, and he will have a stand-up double. Way to go, Dennis.
And that was fair just by inches. Hit on the foul line going down the left field line. Inches fair. We saw some power. Not really expecting that out of the 9 position, but Reitz is continuing to put some offensive threats out there. Brings up Kevin Bullock, 1 for 2 today. The big 2-run triple back in the fourth inning. And also a strikeout victim back in the first.
Maynard, one of those players you root for. You see him try so hard and gel defensively. A little lacking on the bat, and it's nice to see Dennis poke one there to left.
Well, sooner or later, your time is going to come, especially when you're such a good defensive ball player, maybe not so offensive-oriented. In the 9 position, you just try to get on base any way that you can for the top 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come up next. Did a good job, got his pitch right there, was able to turn on it and just keep it fair for a double.
Top half of the sixth inning, we're scheduled for 7. Reitz trying to go 12 and 10. 2-0 from Dickinson. Out of play.
And the high school association around here plays the 10-run rule, where if a team is ahead after 4.5 or 5 innings by 10 runs or more, they call it sort of like a mercy rule. Not really to that point yet, but the way this offense is capable of producing some runs, and you've got the top of the order up here, runner on second, nobody out. Always a possibility.
Now, Bosse would get another chance should Reitz go on another scoring barrage here.
Home team always has its at bat, unless it is the team that has the 10-run lead.
3-1 pitch. So it's a walk. And the first 2 aboard. A double and a walk from Dickinson, Maynard, and Bullock.
That'll bring up the pitcher, or the... Yes, it will bring up the pitcher, Mike Fetcher. I have not yet put Hart out of the lineup as far as offense is concerned. Mike not seeing a lot of action at the plate this year. The majority of the time he is in there as the pitcher, mainly just to concentrate on his pitching performance, not worrying about the batting average. Comes in with only 22 plate appearances. It's only picked up 2 base hits, so the offense not really there. Maybe look for a sacrifice situation here. First and second, look for him to lay down a bunt, advance those runners to second and third.
Has good size to him. That went upstairs. Todd Hayes on deck. There's nobody out here in the Panthers' 6th. This one also getting out of play.
Mike getting a chance to swing the bat here. When you're up 5 runs like this, a sacrifice situation not really essential. Kind of surprised that he is not bunting, though, just due to the fact he has not seen a lot of times at bat this year.
Full swing of the bat. Got a shot, a 1-hopper, and it gets behind Matt Wendell in left field. Here comes run number 7 for Reitz, and they're waving across another. 7 and 8 to 1. As in comes Dennis Maynard and Kevin Bullock.
And that shows you right there, Coach Johnson knows more about his players than we up here at the broadcast booth do. 2 RBIs on that, making it an 8-1 score. You still got nobody out, a runner in second base. Todd Hayes, who has been hot all afternoon, is due up, but we're going to see a pinch hitter here for him.
Double changes by Steve Johnston.
Pitch hitting. Number 28, Lighters. Sean Lighters batting for Hayes.
Well, we've seen Sean many times before.
He has been in the starting lineup a lot of the games that we have had. Usually in center field. Plays out there a lot whenever Craig Angle is on the mound, so comes in with his first time at the plate here this afternoon.
Upstairs and inside. Here, ball one from Dickinson. Dickinson kind of up and down on this afternoon. If Bosse could find one solid pitcher we've talked about, you could add maybe 3 more victories to the 4 they already have. Put him up there with everybody else.
Livers comes in at 238. He has picked up a total of 5 base hits in 23 plate appearances. Seen a lot of time defensively in the outfield, not a lot of at bats. So Coach Johnson has a 7-run lead, capability of inserting a couple more players, trying to get some more offense generated.
This one upstairs, foul territory. Andy Elkins, 1 away. Talking of pitchers, every team seems to have one that immediately comes to mind. Harrison has Forshee. Let's give Dillo at North. Betcher here in Reitz. Memorial, well, several. Wiggins, I think, the one that stands out there.
Well, you've got Wiggins, and you've also got Elpers for Memorial. When you look at Central, of course, Eric Wagner. Also got Swedenberg. Jason Kroc does a good job. So basically, all teams have at least one outstanding pitcher this year, and that will make the sectional play that much more close.
Schampker with Mater Dei. So we'll see what the postseason brings us.
And we see another pinch hitter here. This is Alex Aramowitz, a junior for Reitz. Majority of his time spent in the pinch hitting role. Has been a DH a couple times, played a couple games at first base. Overall 222. He's picked up 2 hits and 9 plate appearances.
1 away, and Mike Betcher down at second. And the 0-1 to Aramowitz. Over there in Tracy Young.
And we kind of alluded a little bit early in the broadcast about what type of job both of these catchers do. Tracy Young outstanding behind the plate, as well as Kevin Bullock for Reitz. Going to save your pitcher a lot of wild pitches and also keep the base runners close to the bases because they both have strong arms capable of throwing out any runner provided they do not get too big of a jump off the pitchers.
Two.
And anytime you get an opportunity like this, Coach Johnson has the luxury of having the 7-run lead. You're going to get some more playing time for some of the players that don't see a lot of it. And sooner or later, it will pay off for you. Aramowitz here, a junior, so getting some extra cuts up here at the plate. The much needed time that he sees his junior year will provide a lot of experience come around his senior year, give him that much more thinking ability as far as what to look for at the high school level.
That was the 6th time that Dickinson has been 3-2, and this time it's a walk. Aramowitz.
And
right now, talking to here.
Right, Coach May just going out, try to settle Joe down a little bit. He has struggled once again. Allowed those 5 runs back in the 4th inning, settled down back in the 5th inning, got him 1, 2, 3. So really just out there saying, okay, you know what you're capable of doing, you know what you're not supposed to do. Try to get back into this ball game. Think like a pitcher. We've got first and second, 1 man out. Keep the ball down in the strike zone. Try to get a ground ball situation. Possibly get a double play. Get us out of this inning and get us back in so we can get on offense.
1 away, and here's Bill Hemmons. Johnson likes to keep in. Meredith on deck.
Hammond's 0 for 3 today. A ground out victim back in the 1st and 4th inning, and then flew out to center field back in the 3rd.
This catchable. Chunk Shum here in foul territory. We've seen a foul on the first base side, and Livers now 2 away with this one to Shum here on the third base side.
And this will bring up the shortstop, Louis Meredith, 0 for 3 today. Flew out back into right field back in the second inning, again in the fourth inning, and then bounced out to the second baseman, McCutcheon, back in the fifth.
Meredith had led off 3 times in the second, fourth, and fifth. Getting a lot of at-bats here. This one's got a shot way over in right field, and it just drops foul. It was going to take a Maynard bounce or Maynard drop as it was.
Well, we saw him take it down the left field line and hit on the chalk. That one just a little bit foul. Ball was kind of on the outside part of the plate. Instead of trying to pull the ball, Meredith went with the pitch, trying to get it out into right field and get a couple more runs across the plate here.
2 away, and we're in the top half of the sixth inning. 2 have already come across here.
Right now, Dickinson just needs to concentrate on the hitter right now. We see an attempt to pick off play. You can't really worry about those runners on the bases right now. You've got 2 outs. You're down 7 runs. The score is 8-1. You want to eliminate the possibility of a 10-run rule coming into play here in this 6th inning. You want to at least go 7 innings if you can. So concentrate on this batter. Try to get an easy out.
One and one the count here. There is some work going on in the Bosse bullpen. In case Dickinson runs into any more trouble. One and two. We'll have more high school baseball on TV 52 next Wednesday evening. And 1 week from tonight. The sectional championship will begin on the 28th, I believe.
It's either the 28th or the 29th.
The day after Memorial Day.
They start early in that week, and there's a shot out to right field.
Ronnie Rifford let it fall in front of him. And so another one scores here for the Panthers, and that could be costly. Now 9-1. And if Louis Meredith should come across with Aramowitz, it's going to put all the pressure on Bosse in the bottom half of a 6th.
And he just kind of misplayed that ball right there. The ball was hit kind of shallow into right field. He got a good jump on the ball. That right field has been kind of soggy with the rain the past few days. But he got a good jump on the ball, got a glove on it, just kind of nonchalanted it, and it cost him.
This one again. Ronnie Rifford giving way this time to George Sanders as Reitz picks up 3 more and increase their lead 9-1. They also have 9 hits on the day. After 5 1/2, again 9-1 Reitz and back out to Bosse Field. After this time out on TV 52.
Follow the leader. Today, thousands and thousands of families and businesses look to us as their partner. Follow the leader. Leading the way means having the convenience, the service, and the understanding to make these partnerships work. And that's important to us.
Citizens, the one who leads the way. Follow the leader.
PGA star Evansville's Brian Tennyson.
Swing away in the IMB $1 Million Hole-in-One Shootout to benefit Leadership Evansville and the Evansville Rotary Foundation.
Golfers from around the tri-state will compete for the chance to sink a hole-in-one and share in $1 million. It will all happen on May 17th, 18th, and 19th. Pick up a complete list of rules and purchase tickets at any IMB branch bank or Hardee's restaurant.
Warm up that $1 Million swing and join us for the Hole-in-One Shootout May 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Bottom half of the 6th inning, getting very late for the Bosse Bulldogs. Trailing by 8, Joe Dickinson, Jamie Keebler, Tracy Young here. They're due up in the bottom half of this 6th inning.
And if Bosse is going to get something going against Fetcher, this is the part of the lineup that they expect to do it. Dickinson 0 for 1 today, drew a walk and was left stranded back in the 1st inning and then bounced out. Meredith to Gilmore back in the 3rd inning. Reitz has really done a good job as far as shutting this offense down. They allowed the 1 run back in the first inning by Bosse. Only allowed a total of 3 base hits on the afternoon, so they have done their job. And with Mike Fetcher in there, you know probably he's going to do his job, capable of getting the big strikes like he's supposed to.
Romowitz now at first base, just out of his reach. We also have Sean Livers in left field.
And you know the competitor Dickinson is. He wants to get a good pitch here, help himself out. He's down 8 runs. It's going to start with him. He can't do it with 1 swing of the bat, so he can't really go up there looking to take the ball deep. Just look for that maybe mistake that Mike will bring in there and take it for a base hit.
On the inside. A little upset there is Dickinson. Sometimes you want to take a poke at it, and he has a leadoff walk.
Well, I think that must have hit him, because that was not 5 pitches yet, I don't believe.
I didn't even see it hit his wrist, but they give him the base.
Shortstop Jamie Keebler due up now 0 for 2. Reached on an error back in the first inning and a strikeout victim back in the 4th.
Young on deck. Bosse has to get something going. They had a lead against Mater Dei that let it slide away. Nothing this size, but it's been done before. Have to get the bats going. Fetcher wants to check Dickinson back there at first.
And you do not want to get picked off in this type of situation. We've seen a couple times that Bosse has run themselves out of an inning. If you're Joe Dickinson, not really a running situation here, so you want to stay close to the bag. You want to get a good lead, but not get off too far.
1 ball and 1 strike here to Jamie Keebler. Some of the changers. Livers in for Hayes. Hayes had a heck of an afternoon, going 3 for 3, and there goes Dickinson as it escapes Kevin Bullock. So the first of many steps that have to come. Livers actually in center field as Angle moves over. And Livers more comfortable. We've seen him many times in center field.
And even though Mike has an 8-run lead, he has to think like a pitcher, like it was just a 2-1 ball game, and that one gets away from him. His second walk since he's been in, so not really pitching like he's capable of doing. Needs to concentrate once again on what he's out there to do. Throw strikes, get the base hits out there, let him hit the ball. You've got your defensive players behind you. They're out there for a reason. Use them. Now he's got first and second, nobody out, and the catcher Tracy Young due up.
Shum on deck. Nobody out, so Bosse. Things going, well, okay with them for now. But no 1 count here from Fetcher.
Tracy came in at 294, so his average falling a little bit with the 0 for 2 performance tonight.
Upstairs, Sean Livers in center field. Nice run, but helping out in right is Bill Hammonds. Another runner's move, and there's 1 away.
And with the wind blowing in like it is, any ball that's going to be hit in the outfield will not go as far as you initially think, because the wind's blowing in. It will bring it back towards the infield. Both outfielders got a good jump on the ball. Hammonds coming from right field, a little bit better angle on that ball, so he called off the center fielder Livers and took charge.
Shum, the third baseman.
Chuck 1 for 2 today, picked up a single back in the 4th inning and a strikeout back in the 2nd. Came in at 267.
Double play options at many of places. Reitz wants to have something to say about that. Hard hit ball. Livers comes in and grabs it on 1 hop, and the bases are going to be loaded for the Bulldogs.
So Chuck not being intimidated by a Fetcher being on the mound right now. Bases loaded, only 1 man out. We see another pinch hitter here for Bosse. This is Brandon Reburn, just a sophomore.
And perhaps Jeff May with something up his sleeve here. Our first look at Reburn on TV 52.
And according to their statistics, his first plate appearance. So maybe calling him up from the reserve team, being a strong bat down there, giving him his first opportunity at the varsity level. Quality at bat right here. You've got the bases loaded, only one out. You want to try to avoid some type of ground ball to where you might get a double play. With the 8-run cushion, not really looking for Reitz to play in so much. The first baseman, Aramowitz, is moving a little bit, as well as Maynard at third base. Not really concerned with another run coming across the plate. And I was looking at the wrong lineup, wasn't I?
I believe so, Doug. Down low.
How about Irvin Nix?
Didn't look much like Brendan, did it?
Well, I tell you what, I've got all these papers strewn apart up here. I don't know what I'm doing.
On the outside corner. Table set for him. 3 on. Matt Wendell scheduled on deck batter. 1-1 pitch.
And we look at the stats, and Nix has yet to have a plate appearance, so I was right partially. Just had the wrong people at the wrong places.
2-1 pitch on the outside. 1 out. Double play everywhere, but a 2-2 count now.
And this is where Mike gets tough. He knows the situation. The base is loaded, 1 man out. He's going to reach down, pull up a little bit more, try to get this big strikeout for the second out.
Got him on the inside corner. Big out for a Fetcher in the Reitz Panthers.
2 out bases still jammed. This should be Matt Wendell, who started out in left field, was originally being DH'd for. Came in and had a plate appearance back in the 5th inning and struck out. On the season, came in at 143, 2 hits and 14 bats, so his average will fall a little bit with that strikeout back in the 5th.
Still loaded up for him. Wouldn't a home run be sweet here? 9-1 Reitz, but loaded here for Bosse. Again, another nice pitch from Fetcher, just too low for ball 1.
And a home run, not usually in the scene as far as Fetcher is concerned. He's going to be on with most of his pitches, but he is struggling a little bit this afternoon, so if you're going to get him, today is going to be the day to do it.
9 runs, 9 hits for the Reitz Panthers. 1 run, 4 hits for Bosse. 2-0 pitch. And a walk here would mean another run scored. 3-0. One that has to be there from Fetcher, and had it on the outside corner. 3-1. George Sanders. There's trouble for any defense on deck. 3-1 pitch. Big cut. Like Dickinson, just playing catch-up after going 3-0.
Well, you know by the numbers, Fetcher is going to be tough coming in, the strikeouts versus the walks issued. Struggled a little bit today, allowed 2 walks, has picked up a total of 4 strikeouts since he's been in there. And he came back with a quality pitch on both Nix and Wendell.
It's going to be tough for the Bulldogs. They leave those bases loaded. And now we've played 6 complete with a big lead going to Reitz 9-1. We're back out to Bosse Field for more SIAC high school baseball on TV 52.
Make your next party a real celebration. Get everything you need at Celebrations. Choose from all kinds of special decorations, place settings, balloons and banners, gift wrapping, and a full line of rental items. Celebrations is ready for graduation day, too, with graduation party supplies, decorations, and cards, plus everything you need to throw a winning Indy 500 party. For special events and special occasions, make Celebrations your party supply store. Celebrations in the Woodland Center on Vogel Road, just north of Eastland Mall.
He's back.
Mad as hell. A one-man army, eh?
Bosse Field with Doug Emig. I'm Darren Smith, and some changes here for the Bosse Bulldogs. Starting on the hill, George Sanders.
We have wholesale changes here, and you can get on those. I'll talk about George Sanders making his pitching debut here as far as TV 52 is concerned. We saw him the other day struggle a little bit. Overall 1-1, 7.30 ERA. He's appeared in 16 1/3 innings of work, allowed 24 hits, 20 runs, 17 of those earned. Also picked up 3 strikeouts and 6 walks. So I think Dickinson just threw a lot of pitches, probably ran out of steam a little bit. Did a good job with the exception of that 1 inning back in the 4th inning when he struggled a little bit, giving up 5 runs on 5 base hits. Reitz has put together some quality hits when they needed to. 9-1 going into the top of the 7th here. And with these wholesale substitutions, we'll try to get them as close to what we can as possible. We know Sanders is pitching. Andy Elkins moves from first base to left field. Jamie Keebler moves from shortstop to center field. And to go along with these changes, Reitz is setting up another pinch hitter. This is a sophomore, Mark Zeller. Our first chance to see Mark at the plate this year. So Coach Johnson, once again, with this big 8-run lead, an opportunity to get some of the younger players, an opportunity to get some quality at-bats here at the varsity level. And pretty good base running right there by Zeller. Got the ball hat into the shortstop area. Good play by the shortstop coming over. Really should have held the ball. No chance of getting him at first base. Ended up throwing the ball away, so he goes to second on the air.
Changes for the Bosse Bulldogs. Has Sanders, of course, pitching. Young stays behind the plate, and everybody else just about moved. Joe Dickinson now playing first. Irvin Nix at second. We've got McCutcheon, David McCutcheon, the shortstop, and Shum remains at third. Your entire outfield changes with Andy Elkins in left, Jamie Keebler at center, and Matt Wendell in right.
Well, I had everybody but Nix, McCutcheon, and Wendell.
Everybody but those 3.
Right.
Considering this 9 on the field, Doug.
Well, I did pretty good. I got Keebler out in the center, Elkins from first to left, Sanders from center to pitching. And these substitutions continue. This is Joe Pettigene with a pinch hitting appearance here for Reitz.
Reitz trying to add to a 9-1 lead.
Making only his 6th plate appearance on the season. This will be number 7. He has 3 official times at bat, yet to pick up a base hit. Has also picked up 3 walks. So when he's been in there, he has either got it out or got on base via the base on balls.
Down at second is Zeller. And the 1-1 on the outside here to Pettigene. Bullock is scheduled, and I say scheduled up, as a leadoff batter. Two balls and 1 strike to Pettigene. Take this one up and over the head of the new second baseman, Irvin Nix. Wisely holding the runners there is Johnston, so it's runners at the corners for the Reitz Panthers.
And both of the substitutes here in the 7th inning have come through with big base hits. First by Zeller, and now Pettigene moving Zeller over to third base. Coach Johnson not really trying to run the score up here, so that's why he held Zeller at third base. Normal situation, probably see him score.
Timmy Bell for Kevin Bullock. And we've seen Bell a couple of times already this season. And I'm wondering if we'll pull Fetcher or not. He is scheduled on deck. First and third here for the Panthers. And our first offensive look on this evening at Timmy Bell. First to Sanders to Bell. Strike 1.
On the season, Timmy at .333. He's picked up 5 hits and 15 at bats. So another one of the substitutes that's getting some extra playing time here. He has appeared in most of the games as a defensive position, coming in late. A couple times DH whenever Fetcher's been on the mound, try to get an extra bat in that lineup. He's come through with some quality base hits for Coach Johnston. Picked up a total of 2 RBIs so far this year.
0-1 to Bell. And that finds the corner, so he's taking a look at a couple. 0-2.
Try to get a base hit here if possible. You've got first and third, nobody out. We're going to go 7 since we're in the 7th inning, so the 10-run rule is no longer in effect. But you still want to score as many runs as you can. Get these guys some playing time here. Give them a chance to get a base hit, pick up some RBIs on the varsity level. It will help. We've talked earlier. The playing time you get your junior, your sophomore year will just pay off that much more once you hit your senior year.
1-2 pitch, nice hit ball, but foul, and now heading out of play. So I keep it 1-2. See Fetcher swing the bat on the on-deck circle, so we should see him. Nobody out here in the top half of the 7th inning. 9-1 Reitz.
And the overcast clouds have moved back in, pushing that sun out of the way. Hopefully no rain in the forecast, just kind of a dreary afternoon, a little bit chilly, the wind blowing in towards center field.
At the corners are the runners. And Sanders with the 2-2, got him on the outside. Out number 1 here in the top half of the 7th inning. Down goes Bell. Mike Fetcher came in for Hart in the 4th.
And his only plate appearance this afternoon had that big 2 RBI single back in the 6th inning when Reitz really opened this up after scoring 1 in the 3rd, 5 in the 4th, 3 more in the 6th. That will help your average a little bit, going 1 for 1 with the few plate appearances Mike has so far this year.
Fetcher's got good size to him. Just looks like a hitter, and well, we saw already one big bang.
And as a pitcher, more times than not, when he's on the mound, he's going to be DH'd for it just so he can concentrate on his pitching performance out there. We talked earlier about when you're on defense and you sometimes carry your offensive problems out into the field. If you've got the capability of using the DH, hit him for the pitcher. That way he can concentrate solely on his mound work, not worry about a time at bat.
10 hits thus far for the Reitz Panthers. Again, Fetcher has one of them. And there's a nice hit ball on the first base side. Bring across run number 10. On his way to 3rd is Pettigene. On his way to 2nd is Fetcher. 2nd and 3rd as Johnson holds them that way. And the lead increased to 9 runs. The Reitz Panthers on top, 10-1.
And for Mike this afternoon, 2 for 2. He's picked up 3 RBI, so adding to that offense that he has attributed early in the season for Coach Johnson. We talked not many times at bat, but the time so far today has come through with the big hits.
This is Sean Livers. Came in for Hayes. Back an inning ago and takes this one for a base hit. 11-1. And coming across here, should have a play at the plate. Oh, bubbled by Dickinson. And like the score was a couple of weeks ago, Reitz on top of Bosse, 12-1.
And it doesn't seem to matter who Coach Johnson inserts into that offensive lineup. Everybody is coming through this afternoon. Fetcher with the 2 big hits, 3 RBIs. Livers picks up an RBI there with that single. Also Zeller and Pettigene contributing this afternoon. So everybody from Reitz doing their job.
Another one for Livers and Romowitz. Again came in the 6th for Gilmore. And he again has got some size.
A big customer down there at the plate. Drew a walk back in the 6th inning. Went 3-2 with Dickinson still on the mound at that time. So this is his first chance, lefty versus lefty here. Romowitz versus Sanders.
1-0 pitch. Nice down the middle and broke inside for him for a 1-1 count. Hammonds scheduled batter up next. With many a shifts and many a changes. Got there from a Romowitz. 1-2. Sometimes wins like this do a lot for your confidence, especially when you can spread it out. 12 hits, 12 runs.
And this is the time of year that you want to get as much momentum going as you can, getting towards the end of the season. Struggling a little bit early in the season, but this is the time to put everything together right around sectional time.
Bill Hammonds, mainstay for Reitz, but there's 2 away with the last strikeout to Aramowitz. It's the second for George Sanders.
Hammonds on the evening 0 for 4. Grounded out back in the first and third inning, flew out to center in the third inning, and then fouled out to the third baseman Chuck Shum back in the sixth.
Urban Nix goes to Joe Dickinson. And that's how this one ends. A couple more come across, make it 3 for the Reitz Panthers, and they've increased their lead by 11. It's 12-1. Last call for the Bosse Bulldogs, bottom half of the 7th, next on TV 52. New pitcher for the Reitz Panthers. You saw him just a couple of nights ago here on TV 52, Roger Gady.
Comes in with a record of 3-0. Did a good job against North, came in, got some quality strikeouts, location right around the plate most of the time. ERA coming in about 1.8, so has done a good job as far as relief work all season long for Coach Johnston.
It's a brand new battery for the Reitz Panthers, and Getty and Timmy Bell behind the plate. 12-1 our score, so Bosse will drop to 4-11, and the Reitz Panthers will go 2 above 500. They will go to 12-10.
And Bosse kind of put a winning streak together before this game. They had won their last 2 ball games. Reitz with that big win over North. Anytime you can come from behind, especially after leading, falling behind, put together some big hits like that, it's going to be a confidence builder as far as the overall team. So hopefully for Reitz, they're on a roll. And Bosse just struggling a little bit right now. Dickinson struggled early with his location, gave up a lot of base hits.
For Sanders, we take a look at Morphew. Junior Brian Morphew, and our first look at him on TV 52. McCutcheon is scheduled up.
Only had 1 plate appearance so far this year and has yet to get a base hit, so another quality at bat here for Coach May and some of his substitutes. He knows the game is pretty much out of reach. Good opportunity here for somebody to get in, take a couple hacks at the ball. Not really a good ball game as far as run production, so you're going to give somebody an extra shot here, possibly helping out for next year. Morphew Jr., so anytime you can get some more at bats as a junior, that will just pay off that much more next year.
2-2 here at Morphew. And Getty gets him. 1 away and 2 to go. Don't forget our next high school game next Wednesday evening. Wednesday and Friday of next week. And we'll also be telecasting the 1991 Evansville Sectional. Game on June the 1st. You'll see it Sunday night, June the 2nd. And as mentioned earlier, the IHSAA will not let us televise the first 2 rounds of that particular sectional. They say the championship of the sectional and all games after that if we so choose. But like basketball season, Doug, no one allowed to cover those in their entirety.
Well, I think that has to do with some type of draw whenever you have a chance of telecasting a game. They think, although a lot of times around, especially around Evansville, if you've got sectional play, they're going to come out and see it whether it's live or on TV. So just protecting the attendance a little bit.
Kitzinger takes this one down to Meredith. Our first look at Kitzinger. And this evening, our last. 2 away.
And Getty has done a good job. We talked about it earlier. His strikeout performance has picked up 20 strikeouts in his 16 innings of work. Issued 9 walks. So he, kind of like Mike Fetcher, is going to be around the plate most of the time. A good fastball, good off-speed stuff. Look for him to get ahead most of the time in the count.
Even Andy Elkins, the senior. 1 to go on the outside.
Andy 1 for 3. Picked up a single and scored the lone Bosse run back in the first inning.
Wright's again will go to 12-10. Bosse will drop to 4-11, but like I said, they may get shelled here this evening. Do not count these guys out. Do not take them lightly in the postseason. I'm talking the Bosse Bulldogs. 1-1 on the ground. Maynard, little bobble there, still has time, and the throw is off. No way around what's going to get that one. So down at second, will score it. E5, a second error on Mr. Maynard.
Not really a good fielding play by that, and whenever you knock the ball down like that, the majority of the time you're not going to have a play on the runner, so you have to eat that ball. You can really give him 2 errors on that for the first fielding error and then throwing the ball away, allowing Elkins to get to second base. This will bring up Dickinson, so the life is not out of these Bulldogs yet. Joe officially 0 for 1 today. Reached on a walk and was hit by a pitch back in the first inning and hit by that pitch in the 6th.
On the outside by Getty. 12-1 Reitz. Looking at an identical score from earlier in the season. What are the odds of that, especially with a 12-1 score?
Not going to happen too many times, and in the city here, you're going to play most of the teams twice, so you're going to get a good look at them the first time, maybe test them out a little bit just to see what they're made of. Usually the second time, a little bit better ball game, but Reitz has been in control most of this afternoon.
1-2 here to Dickinson. Getty going to try to end it perhaps on a K. He had one in Morphew earlier. 1-2 pitch upstairs, and this should do it. As we run into communication problems, it's held on to by Roger Getty, and that is it. The Reitz Panthers go to 12-10 after shelling Bosse on this particular evening by a score of 12-1. They had 12 hits, committed 3 errors. Bosse 1 for 3 across, and again Bosse drops to 4-11.
Reitz did the most of the damage back in that 4th inning when they picked up 5 runs on 5 base hits. Made the score 6-1, and it was basically Reitz from that point on.
Here on a Friday night, you've been watching the 1991 SIAC. Bosse and Reitz. Doug and I will wrap it up. An evening of SIAC baseball on TV 52.
We have a talented staff who will work to get your ad seen and noticed by our viewing audience. So call now to find out more at 422-9685. That's 422-9685. TV 52, just for you.
The animals in the forest. If they could talk, what would they say? They might say, be careful with fire in the forest. Just like Smokey says, only you can prevent forest fires.
Wasn't pretty, Doug Emig, and not nice to watch a second time if you're Bosse. 12-1, the Reitz Panthers.
The one good thing you can say about it, for both teams, they got some quality at-bats for some of the guys that don't see a lot of playing time. In a game like this, when it gets out of reach like that, we saw it 6-1, and then Reitz scored 6 more runs. Not really a lot as far as Bosse is concerned, but Coach May got some extra playing time for some of the players that might not see a lot of time. It's going to pay off for them eventually. Get some sophomores and juniors in there a time or two up at the plate just to see what it's like to face this varsity-type pitching, and it will pay off in the future.
Not exactly a nail-biter being 12-1. I got to do wonders, though, for Reitz as we go into the stretch half of the season here. When you win by 11 runs, no matter who you beat, it does a lot for your confidence.
And this is the time of year you want to group together as a team. Both teams came in on a winning streak of somewhat. Bosse not really playing up to their capabilities. We know they've struggled all season long, but the potential is there. This Reitz ball club, big day out of Todd Hayes, picked up 3 big base hits. Mike Fetcher even got a couple plate appearances, 3 RBIs. So the offense was there this afternoon for Reitz. Hopefully for the Panthers, they can get something going, and they're coming together at the right time of the year. Keep this roll streak going somewhat, gearing up for the sectional.
High school baseball returns to TV 52 next Wednesday night. Tomorrow night on TV 52 for our West Side fans, it's West Little League. That'll be Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Again, our final here. Reitz pounding Bosse by a score of 12-1. For our producers Rick Goodman and Todd Suter, and for Doug Emig, I'm Darren Smith from Bosse Field. Good night.
So Mater Dei and North will battle in one sectional semifinal Saturday.
The other matchup is Central and Reitz. Pitching, as we said, always important. In postseason, it's more than important. It's crucial. Central coach Paul Grease will send Adam Swedenberg to the hill. He had 2 starts against the Panthers during the regular season. He beat them on a 2-hitter, and they beat him once, 4-3.
Tough team. A couple of their hitters are real tough hitters. They can take you deep if you're not careful. If I keep the ball down, I should be all right. Got good defense going into the sectionals.
Like I said, we've seen him twice and hit him good one time, and the other time we hit him real strong, but I believe we're going to come out hitting him strong this time.
Reitz coach Steve Johnston has at least 3 good arms to choose from, but his choice is an easy one.
We're going to go with Mike Fetcher, I think. You know, Mike has been basically our leader the last 2 years, so we're going to give the ball to the senior left-hander and let him go out and get the job done. He has thrown against Central also a few innings, but basically they have not seen him, so we feel like we're going to play that to an advantage there a little bit, we hope.
Johnston says his troops have had a little trouble at times putting runs on the board, and Grease has some offensive concerns as well, especially with the 1, 2, and 3 spots in his batting order.
We've got our leadoff hitter, Nick Utley, broke a bone behind his thumb last week in the Princeton game. He's been out for 2 games, but he's going to get it taped up Saturday, and we hope he's going to be able to be 90% anyway. Our second batter is Billy Cote, and he's got a sprained ankle, so that's very tender. And then our third batter, Eric Wagner's got to sit out 1 more game, and so you know, that doesn't help us out. So, but we did win our last 2 ball games without those 3 guys.
They will play at 11 on Saturday morning. Then it will be North and Mater Dei at 1:30 or around 1:30, with the finals then set for Saturday night at Bosse Field. A couple of Major League games today, or 1 final. California